Hello there, thanks for joining me this Monday on 7Edition. I'm Shafiqa Razali and these are tonight's headlines. Motive of killing 11-year-old was vengeance. Witness says hard object hurled at fire truck in Adib's inquest. And Thailand frees refugee footballer. Good evening. In Penang, police recovered an arsenal of guns, a hand grenade and hundreds of live bullets when they raided an abandoned double-storey house in Bukit Mertajam yesterday. The same house had been raided in December, where police uncovered a drug processing laboratory in the premises and seized more than 700,000 ringgit worth of ecstasy pill. This time, the same house owner lodged a police report that ammunition and weapons were discovered in the house. A police inspection of the house yesterday afternoon found weapons kept inside a room on the first floor. Seberang Perai Tengah District Police Chief ACP Nik Ros Azhan Nik Abdul Hamid said police found 349 live bullets and pistols in the room. Among the seizures were an American-made M61 hand grenade, a Smith & Wesson pistol, a homemade pistol, 2 silencers, a laser shooter, bullet shells and casings. Identifying the suspect as a 42-year-old man with a criminal record of 16 drug-related offences, the police have launched a manhunt. The case is being investigated under the Firearms Act and the Firearms Increased Penalty Act. The Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, MECC, has been urged to investigate a company which has been granted a permit to develop a 400-hectare forest area in Kinta Ipoh, Perak. Kapa Member of Parliament Thomas Su Kiong Siong said the company is new and has been operating for less than 5 months.
Bagaimana sebuah syarikat yang hanya kurang daripada 5 bulan tanpa apa-apa rekod, tanpa apa profil, dan ini syarikat RM2 saja, dua share saham RM1 satu, kepunyaan 2 orang individu pemegang saham, boleh diberi tanah seluas 400 hektar.
He added that the company was given land in 2 areas, namely Kledang Sayong and Bukit Kinta, for a forest plantation development project. Thomas said the company was granted the permit on December 14th last year. Last Saturday, Perak Menteri Besar Datuk Sri Ahmad Faizal Azumu said the state government will review the permit, which has gone viral on social media. The Court of Appeal has allowed an application by Datuk Sri Najib Tun Razak to stay the hearing of his SRC International trial, which is supposed to take place tomorrow. The unanimous decision by a 3-man panel this afternoon allowed the trial to be stayed until the disposal of the former Prime Minister's appeal on the certificate of transfer. The panel was chaired by Dato' Ahmadi Asnawi and comprises judges Dato' Mohammed Zabidin Muhammadiyah and Dato' Yeo Jen Kee. Dato' Sri Najib was scheduled to face his first 1MDB-related trial tomorrow. The charges were 3 counts of money laundering, 3 counts of criminal breach of trust, and 1 count of power abuse involving over 42 million ringgit of funds belonging to 1MDB's former unit, SRC International Sendirian Berhad. Dato' Sri Najib on February 8th filed an application to stay this trial pending his appeal against the prosecution's withdrawal of a certificate of transfer to shift the 7 charges from the Sessions Court to the High Court. In an earlier development today, Datuk Sri Najib's case involving 3 additional charges of money laundering of 27 million ringgit worth of SRC international funds will be heard in the Kuala Lumpur High Court. High Court Judge Muhammad Nazlan Muhammad Ghazali allowed the application by the prosecution led by Attorney General Tommy Thomas to transfer the case from the Sessions Court to the High Court. However, Muhammad Nazlan dismissed Thomas's application for the case to be tried jointly with 3 other cases of criminal breach of trust, abuse of power and money laundering faced by the former Prime Minister. The judge said that he has no issue with the transfer per se, but the issue of a joint trial is premature as it is within the jurisdiction of the High Court to try the matter. Now to the death of the 11-year-old girl Siti Mashita Ibrahim, who was found with her hands tied in an oil palm plantation in Kampung Tanjung Medan Hile Pekan, is believed to have been motivated by vengeance. Pahang Criminal Investigation Department Chief Dato' Osman Nayan said the suspect, 23-year-old Cambodian male, is a family friend and lives in the same village. Preliminary investigations found that the man was linked to the girl's disappearance as they were last seen together. The suspect was arrested on January 31st. He initially did not admit to anything during the interrogation, but after the victim's body was found and police probed him further, the suspect admitted to be involved in her disappearance. Siti Mashita's post-mortem report verified 3 injuries sustained on the victim's head. One on the left jaw, the second one on the upper left part of her skull, and the third one on the back of her head. Dato' Osman denied reports that went viral, claiming that the suspect's organs were harvested for human organs trade. He also did not rule out that the victim's condition could have been due to wild animals or being exposed for too long. At this point, police are waiting for the DNA of the remains to be verified, while the suspect is in remand until February 17th. Now to the updates of the Penang Bridge crash. The Toyota Vios driver who was involved in the deadly accident last month pleaded not guilty today for causing the death of his former schoolmate by reckless driving. The 21-year-old former hairstylist faces a maximum jail term of 10 years and a fine of up to 20,000 ringgit upon conviction under the Road Transport Act. M. Vaitheswaran allegedly rammed his car into a Mazda CX-5 SUV driven by 20-year-old Muay Yun Peng on the bridge about 3 a.m. on January 20th. The collision, which was caught on the dashcam of a passing vehicle, caused the SUV to spin out of control and fall off the bridge. Trapped in the vehicle, Muay drowned. His body was only recovered 3 days later, along with his car. It was reported that Vaitheswaran and Muay had earlier attended a friend's birthday party in Georgetown. Both were driving home to the mainland when the crash happened. The court fixed bail at 7,000 ringgit with one shorty and set March 18th for next mention. The magistrate also ordered Vaitheswaran's driving licence to be suspended and for him to report himself at the nearest police station once a month throughout the trial period. In Perak, a sergeant was among 8 men charged in the Ipoh Sessions Court today with causing the death of a man 6 years ago. All the accused pleaded not guilty after their charges were read out to them by an interpreter. They were jointly charged with causing the death of 36-year-old Muhammad Azrin Muhammad Arif in Kampung Cenderung Kelubi, Tanjung Tualang on April 5th, 2013. If found guilty under the Penal Code, they face a maximum jail term of 30 years and a fine. The court did not offer any bail and set mention on March 11th. It was reported that earlier that the body of Muhammad Azrin was found floating in a mining site by a member of the public in the village on April 6, 2013. A former sales manager of a private company was charged at the Kuala Lumpur Sessions Court today with sending insulting comments against the 15th Yang di-Pertuan Agong, Sultan Muhammad V, on Facebook last month. Eric Liu Chi Ling, aged 46, pleaded not guilty. He was accused of using Facebook under the name Eric Liu to send insulting comments on Sultan Muhammad V with the intention to hurt others. The accused was charged under the Communications and Multimedia Act, where he faces a fine of up to 50,000 ringgit or jail of up to 1 year, or both if found guilty. The court allowed bail at 8,000 ringgit in one shorty and set March 26 for case mention.
Betul.
Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad today called on the government employees to focus their loyalty to the country. The Premier also warned them about the danger of being obsessed with particular leaders or political parties, especially those with unethical behaviours. He was issuing this reminder to members of the administrative machinery at a gathering with employees of the Prime Minister's Department in Putrajaya today.
Tentulah timbul perasaan tidak senang dan tidak tentu arah kerana kita telah setia kepada sesuatu kumpulan itu selama 61 tahun. Tetapi sekarang ini kita perlu beri kesetiaan kita kepada kerajaan yang terdiri daripada yang dahulunya musuh kepada kerajaan lama. Yang utama bukan pertukaran kerajaan. Yang utama ialah kesejahteraan dan kebaikan bagi negara kita.
Also present at the gathering were Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Dr. Wan Azizah Wan Ismail and Chief Secretary to the Government Datuk Sri Dr. Ismail Bakar. The Premier added that if the new administration works towards developing the country whilst allowing people to enjoy the fruits of the progress, loyalty should therefore be given to the country so that all the good efforts for the country could continue to be carried out. After the break, woman in wheelchair denied entry into chocolate store. Details next. Thanks for staying with us. Now it's time for our daily segment Clickbait, where we take a look at what's trending and making rounds in the cyber world today. It is common sense for us to be courteous to others, especially when using public facilities. However, a woman had committed what she thought was an innocent but ultimately insensitive act, triggering rage among netizens nationwide. Recently, a Chinese woman was caught on camera washing her dog in diaper changing room at the RNR Tapa. The video, which was shared on Twitter, has since garnered nearly 50,000 views. Here's what happened. It was believed that the woman was told not to do that repeatedly by the cleaner and passers-by. However, she just ignored them and kept on bathing her dog as she pleased. The incident has since accumulated backlashes from netizens all over the social media, saying how selfish and uncultured such behavior was. Following the viral video, RNR Tapa's management as well as Plus Malaysia Berhad had immediately taken appropriate action by performing sama, or the Muslim method of cleansing, and has said to monitor the space from time to time. We have been fighting for so long to ensure every member of our society is treated equally and fairly, especially those who are disabled. However, the harsh reality is that we need to put in more effort before we can realize this goal, as we are still far from it. Last Saturday, Rosita Osman took to her Facebook account to share an incident where her sister-in-law with a wheelchair was allegedly denied entry into a chocolate store. The infuriating incident occurred at Design Village in Penang while Rosita went shopping with her family. Rosita explained in her post how her disabled sister-in-law was stopped by one of the staffs in the chocolate store, saying the wheelchair might damage the beautiful mosaic floor. Her post has since prompted netizens to voice out their anger towards the store as well as its management. Some called for a boycott, while others also shared the same experience when they were not even allowed strollers into the store. However, according to New Straits Times, the management of the store has denied the existence of such policies, instead blaming its staff, saying they might not be aware of them. There is no room for discrimination in a diverse society, or at the very least, a chocolate store should instill happiness instead of inciting anger. Now, in relation to this incident, we decided to know more and contacted our fellow reader, Ras Adiba Radzi, who is currently on the line. Assalamualaikum, Ras Adiba. Thanks for joining us.
Walaikum salam.
Hi. Based on your personal experience now, how often do these instances occur?
Here and there, but this is a classic case of environment and attitude that makes us disabled, really. And what has happened is totally ridiculous. Not allowing us into the vicinity is, it's out of the world, really. Our wheelchair does not spoil their floor, unless it's made of chocolate, of course. And it really takes a jackhammer to spoil, the mosaic of the shop. And they really discriminating us big time. It's as if we are unable to afford chocolates. And this is inclusion and accessibility is very important for not just persons with disabilities, but also people who, like the elderly and also younger children. As I hear, they're not even allowing prams to go in. It's utterly, crazy. I've had this experience in mosque, and we've fought all right, and we've met the management, and it's been sorted out. But chocolate shop, this is crazy. It's supposed to be a happy food.
Well, that's very unfortunate. Well, based on your response there, what initiatives can you suggest to be done to ensure inclusivity of wheelchair-bound people, Karas?
Okay, wheelchair users, we would like to suggest that the government set up a helpline which will take up issues on PWDs, persons with disabilities, and work with the municipalities of each constituency or state. And then we should have awareness from the tender age, having school syllabus that will highlight and make children understand, the needs and also the issues on persons with disabilities. And really, our government should look into our Toothless Persons with Disability Act. We really need to do something about this because our country is moving towards the aging population very soon. So all this nonsense has got to take a back seat, really.
Right. Thank you for your time, Ras Adiba.
You're most welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, updated as of 7 p.m., here are the top trending topics and searches on the internet today. Still on local news, the first day into the inquest proceeding to determine the cause of death of firefighter Muhammad Adib Muhammad Qasim saw testimonies given by 3 witnesses, 2 of whom are drivers for the fire rescue tender FRT vehicle and the Emergency Medical Rescue Service EMRS van with the Subang Jaya Fire and Rescue Station. The third is police officer who received the first report on the fire and riots at the Sri Maha Mariamman Temple, Seafield Temple. It was the EMRS driver's testimony, however, that caught everyone's attention. Ahmad Shahril Osman said Muhammad Adib was unharmed when the FRT vehicle reversed and hit the EMRS van, automatically discrediting theories that blamed his death from being hit by the FRT vehicle. Ahmad Sharil said when he responded to the distress call on November 27th last year, he was ordered to go to the location with Muhammad Adib. Ahmad Sharil was driving the EMRS van at the time and said that upon arrival, there was already a mob of people surrounding the FRT vehicle in front of them. However, due to safety reasons, he said the FRT had to reverse several times and had hit the front of the EMRS van after it was hurled by hard objects by a group of men. When questioned by the inquest coordinating officer, Deputy Public Prosecutor Hamdan Hamza, on the speed of the FRT while it was reversing, the witness said it wasn't too fast, just as though he were pushing his own car backwards. Hamdan then asked Ahmad Sharil where Adib was at the time, to which he said, next to him. Ahmad Sharil then added that Adib was next to him at the time and that in fact he had communicated with Adib about how another firefighter had stepped out of an FRT vehicle too quickly. The Prime Minister's office this evening announced the establishment of the Economic Action Council. In a statement, it said that the 16-member council will act to research and make decisions regarding economic and financial affairs, as well as the people's welfare. The council was established to respond and act for the people's feedback on the problems they face, especially in the field of economy. The main aim of this council is to encourage and stimulate sustainable economic growth, the distribution of welfare, and thus improve the well-being of the people. The council, chaired by the Prime Minister, will also examine issues related to the cost of living, employment, poverty, and home ownership. 4 cabinet ministers are also included, namely Economic Affairs Minister Datuk Sri Muhammad Azmin Ali, Finance Minister Lim Guan Eng, International Trade and Industry Minister Datuk Ignatius Darul Laiking, and Works Minister Barubian. Former International Trade and Industry Minister Tan Sri Rafida Aziz are among the others named as members of the council, as well as Permodalan Nasional Berhad Chairman Tan Sri Zeti Akhtar Aziz and Chairman of the ASEAN Business Advisory Council of Malaysia, Tan Sri Dr. Muhammad Munir Abdul Majid. The appointments take effect immediately, while the Secretariat of this Council is the Implementation Coordination Unit at Prime Minister's Department. Welcome back. On foreign news, a Bahraini footballer with a refugee status in Australia left a Thai jail on Monday after being arrested for more than 2 months. Hakim Al-Araibi was arrested in November at Bangkok airport after Bahrain abandoned its bid to seek his extradition. The authorities has finally dropped its request to extradite him for crimes during the Arab Spring protest of 2011. A convoy immigration vehicles believed to be carrying Araibi and left the Bangkok remand prison shortly after state prosecutors announced Bahrain had dropped the charges. The footballer fled to Bahrain in 2014 and received refugee status in Australia. However, with an Interpol notice issued at Bahrain request, he was then arrested in November while on a honeymoon trip. There was no clear explanation when Bahrain withdrew the extradition request. Disney finally gives the fans look at the genie in the first full trailer for the live-action Aladdin movie, which will hit Malaysian theatres in May. As 7Edition draws to a close, we leave you with the trailer. I'm Shafiqa Razali. Thanks for tuning in and have a good night.
Bring me the lamp. Your life begins now.
Aladdin